Shalom, this is Daniel Stern of the Netivyah Bible Instruction Ministry coming at you from our building in downtown Jerusalem. And today I want to say, first of all, God bless America. Congratulations to Donald Trump, the president-elect and former president. And I considered making a video yesterday to encourage people to go out and vote because it's an important thing to do, to exercise your constitutional privilege to do that. But I decided not to, primarily because my photographer wasn't in the office. But in any case, I do want to talk about the Trump's election and its significance outside of Israel, outside of the United States, and within the United States. Now, obviously, this is not my area of expertise when it comes to domestic policies in the United States. So if I make a mistake, you feel free to point it out in the comments. I'll be so glad if you do. The other day I made a video about World War III, nuclear weapons, and it was pointed out to me that Germany does not have nuclear arms, which is true. It has nuclear capabilities, but it has not directed it towards the military. So I first of all will stand corrected on that and correct myself. Thank you, Eve, for pointing that out. But in any case, if I make mistakes, please feel free to comment. I don't mind. I'm glad to be educated on matters that I'm less or more aware of. In any case, as an Israeli and an American, I am very glad that Donald Trump was elected for a few reasons. First of all, because we've seen his previous term, 2017 to 2021. I think he did a very good job in regards to dealings with China, in regards to international order, peace. The no new wars started during that time. Things were relatively stable. The Abraham Accords, of course, all kinds of good foreign policy stuff. The tariffs on China, which I mentioned China, that's what I meant, but also things such as China's relationship with Taiwan, so on. Russia did not invade any countries during his term, unlike the previous and after presidencies where they invaded countries. So from a foreign perspective, from a global, from an international perspective, Trump's 2017 to 2021 term was quite good, quite stable, and I'd like to see more of that, and I expect to see more of that because he has now had the experience in politics and knows more and knows better. But before I go on, I just want to point out the background. The last few videos I've been on the roof. Now I'm down here at the bottom of our building, and during the HaMotzi day, the day when we distribute food to 150 families that social services send us, families that need our support for nutritional stability, we provide them with fruit and vegetables that was just now packed by our wonderful volunteers. We also provide, and the amounts of fruit and vegetable varies based on the size of the family. We also provide them with frozen goods, meat, fish, chicken, whatnot, and of course the dry goods that you see behind me. Again, depending on the family, their size, they receive anywhere from 16 pounds to 50 pounds, 40 pounds of goods. Well, I guess it's 44, but in any case, details. Who's counting? And we are so glad to be able to do it, and we're so thankful for the volunteers that come week after week to help do it, and for you for supporting this initiative. And I just wanted to explain why I'm here and what's in the background. Back to Trump. Domestically, as I said, I'm less familiar, but there are some things such as illegal immigration that is beyond me why anyone would be okay with such a thing. I mean, every country has the right to allow in whoever they want and to not allow in whoever they don't want. That's normal. That's part of every country in the world. There's no country with an open border policy that anyone who wants can immigrate to it, can move in and just become a part of it. Every country has a process. In Israel, it's a 5-year process. In Australia, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's between 5 and 7 years. In the United States, it's a good long process. And there's no reason why it shouldn't apply to everyone who wishes to come. Obviously, there are some exceptions, such as refugees, but bear in mind that in order to be classified a refugee, you are only a refugee as long as you are one country away from whatever caused you to flee. Once you keep going, you are no longer categorized as a refugee because you've made the choice to continue going. But in any case, some people might disagree with me, and feel free to do so in the comments. Again, I'll be glad to see that. But that is my understanding of refugee status throughout the world. And people who migrate to better their lives, while I understand them, I mean, I'm not sure I'd want to live in whatever hellhole they come from, but it doesn't make it legal. It doesn't make it okay. And a country has the right to say no. And that is what most conservatives and Donald Trump, and I wish more people, would think is normal. And you can see that when the illegal immigrants are shipped to different democratic countries, states, and cities, then suddenly, oh no, this isn't good, we don't want him here, blah, blah, blah. So again, it's kind of hypocritical. Anywho, going back to other domestic issues, I mentioned the foreign policy regarding China and tariffs. That affects, of course, prices in the United States, jobs in the United States, and as we've seen in the last 4 years, inflation has been on the rise, unemployment is not in a good place. So once again, I hope that Trump will do a better job, and I expect he will. Additionally, why am I glad that Trump won? Well, because the person running against him, Kamala, is known for two things: word salad and hysterical laughter. Now, considering the fact that she served for 4 years as vice president, and let's be honest, I mean, Joe Biden's kind of, I don't want to say bad stuff, but let's just say that she probably served as acting president. She hasn't done anything useful. I mean, she's failed in lots of places, like the immigration and so on, illegal immigration. And also she's a flip-flop. You know, she changes her opinions all the time. That's been shown on any news media worth the salt, which is not most mainstream media. But she flip-flops between fracking, no fracking, immigration good, immigration bad, this, that, the other, and, you know, claims to be the person in charge, the last man in the room, on such failures as the pullout from Afghanistan, where soldiers died, the Taliban got billions of dollars of high-tech U.S. equipment, and of course the country of Afghanistan fell back into the dictatorship rule, which oppresses women and so on and so forth. So frankly, I'm not so thrilled with Kamala. So basically, it's a vote yes for Trump because I like him, no for Kamala because she's terrible. In other words, if it was Kamala against a houseplant, I'd vote for the houseplant, which is basically what Joe Biden was, but let's not go there. In any case, and of course, the last thing is that it's so ludicrous to see the complaints that people have about Trump's election. For example, he will be a dictator, he's Hitler, he's a Nazi, there will be no more elections, it will be a life and death, pregnant women will die everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Well, he served for 4 years and none of that happened. You know, they say it'll be the last election ever. He served for 4 years and then he stepped out when he was not elected. Your crazy, lunatic ravens are divorced from reality. In any case, obviously, again, going back to the fact that I'm Israeli, here in Israel, in Jerusalem, and we are right now at war with the Hamas, with Hizbollah, with the Houthis, with Iran, with Syria, or the Syrian, Iranian forces in Syria, I should say, with the Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, and with terrorists in Judea and Samaria, then we want support from our greatest ally. We want them to stand by our side or at least not get in our way. And for the last year, the U.S. administration has been slow-walking aid to Israel, has been making demands of Israel that have been detrimental to the war. There is no known conflict where the opposing side provided aid for their opponents during the conflict. This does not happen. This is crazy. And this is what Israel is being forced to do. And why? In order to get weapons, ammunition that are smart ammunition, that will reduce casualties, which of course is also not, put aside the morality of innocent civilians. It's not in Israel's strategic tactical benefit to not kill unarmed civilians. Again, it's a moral ethic issue. But militarily, what does it matter if I blow up 2 terrorists and 8 unarmed civilians, or just 2 terrorists? The smart ammunition that are being denied Israel are ones that force Israel, if they wish to continue with their military objectives, to be less focused on hitting the targets. Now, we at Netivyah have been supporting the soldiers and are still supporting the soldiers. Even yesterday I received shipments for units, armored corps unit in the north, and an intelligence unit that's serving in the south, and paratrooper reconnaissance unit. We received gear for that yesterday. We'll be taking it to them shortly, and we still continue to support the soldiers. And for that too, we need your help. We need you to pray. We need you to share the news, to influence those around you. And I'd like to, since we're talking about Trump, I'd like to invite one of our volunteers to come and say a word or two. Jim, can you come and say, I've been talking and talking and talking, and I want to hear what you have to say. Now, you are going to come and join me, and as far as I'm aware, you're Chinese, African, and you are going to share your opinion on Trump. Now, I joke. You can make your own decisions on Jim. And Jim is from the United States, yes?
Correct.
And did you have a chance to vote?
I did.
And you don't have to tell me who you voted for, but you can if you want. But share your thoughts on Donald Trump's election.
I'll tell you the main reason that I voted for Donald Trump.
Oh, you did? Good job.
I'm a retired military guy. I have 3 of my 5 kids are serving in the military. And Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime to not get us into new conflicts, but get us out of conflicts and bring a mentality of peace. And so that's first and foremost why I voted for Donald Trump. Also, as you've alluded to for quite a bit, the support for Israel is critical. America can't exist without Israel. We can't.
That's
America
right.
was founded on the Bible. Where did the Bible come from? The Bible came from Israel. Thank you very much. So.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure to give you the Bible. But here's what I want to take what you said and go one step further. Every side in this argument and who has an opinion on the Israel-Palestinian conflict says they want it to end. Everyone wants it to end. No one wants it to go on forever. The question is, how does it end? Does it end with our surrender, or does it end with defeating evil? And I feel that that's the difference between Kamala and her cronies and Donald. Donald wants to end it. He says that. He told the Muslims in Michigan a few days ago that he wants to end it. We all want to end it. The question is how to end it. And that's why I support Donald Trump, because I feel that he'll end it. He'll help us end it in a decisive way that will bring peace.
I agree. He operates from a position of strength, wants the U.S. to operate from a position of strength, and wants Israel to operate from a position of strength, not surrender, as you spoke. So,
all right.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Thank you very much, Jim. And thank you for helping today. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up because I've been rambling for a while. Once again, if you guys have any thoughts, any comments, any corrections, please put it down in the comments. And continue to pray for Israel. Pray for the leadership. I didn't mention this, but I will now. I'll bump in and say it. Last night, Bibi Netanyahu fired the Secretary of Defense, Yoav Gallant. It's been a long time coming. It's been over half a year since Yoav Gallant has been working against the government, against government decisions, and taking credit for things that he was opposed to after they happened. He was opposed to killing Hassan Nasrallah, but now he takes credit as if it was his idea, and so on and so forth, many other things of that sort. So that's a big change here in Israel, and the radical left are in the streets to protest the fact that a right-wing prime minister fired a right-wing supposedly right-wing, but Likud party member, Minister of Defense. So the fact that the radical left are protesting in the streets, burning the streets, proves that it's a good thing he kicked him out. But anyways, pray for Israel, pray for the government, pray for the IDF, for the soldiers, pray for the hostages, pray for their families, and pray for Netivyah that we are able to continue serving the poor and needy of Jerusalem and supporting the IDF. God bless you all.